Hello, and welcome to another episode of Latina Mic Drop. We are about 20 plus days out from launching Tattoos and Pearls. So we're super excited about that. We made hot #1 release in 2 different categories, which is just amazing, absolutely incredible. I am so thankful to everyone who has bought the book and everyone who's taken advantage of the bonuses. And super excited to be here with you because today we are going to jump right in to something that really stops people from leading, from being in a position where they work so hard to get to, and all of a sudden they feel a little overwhelmed, or maybe feel a little scared, or maybe feel that the room is too big for them, or maybe feel that the shoes are too big to fill, or whatever it might be. And I'm here to help you and give you 5 ways that you can cut the crap, get into your zone, and work the magic that is within you, and be the you that you know that you can be. And you've worked this hard, you've made it to the table. Now it's your opportunity to own it, to really go in, go full out, go fully Mayweather on them, right? He has a whole bunch of confidence and he just does not care. And you really need to have the confidence, and you really need to be in that zone where you're not worried about what people say, where you're not so worried about the judgment. And when you're a leader, you do care about what people say, but in a different way, right? It's not to make you feel smaller. It's not the kind of way that you're thinking they're going to hurt me. No, what you're doing is you're paying attention to what they need, what they want, so that you can make things happen and you can help your team execute. And today we are here to say yes to taking up space, owning your power, and leading out loud. We don't want to do the work in the background, do the work like a little turtle, or do the work like the ants, right? You can't even see them on the floor. And they're all a million of them going together, but they're working together and they're getting things done, right? You want to be up in front. You want to make sure that what you're doing is working, and you want to figure out a way. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Miriam Simon, your host. I'm a coach, author, leader of leaders, community head. I also volunteer at the Lead in Latinas Nueva York, Nueva Jersey circle. So if you're in the New York, New Jersey area, feel free, Latinas, to join that circle. If you are a leader, you can join my personal community, which is Leader of Leaders, Jefa de Jefas, because we are all jefas. Like, I love to be with the people that are out here doing the great things, doing new things, innovative things, being the first people in their, families to do X, Y, and Z and ABC, because I'm pretty sure there's so many of you that are doing it out there, that I really want you to have all the resources, the tools, everything you need to be #1, to be able to be that leader who is in the front, who is making way for those people that are coming behind us, because we're turning around. We're going first to figure things out, getting it ready, fighting the fights, getting through it, right? Opening those doors to wherever we need to go, creating new pathways for people. We're making the blueprint. And then what are we doing? We're coming back to pick up the rest of our people, help whoever wants to join, because at the end of the day, if you put in the work and you do what you want to do, you will find your way, you will find your peace, you will do the things that are important to you, and you will discover what it is that's super important and what your life purpose is. And for today's episode, we are here ready to help you turn your scars into strengths and your wisdom into your secret sauce, into the gem. No filters, just real talk to help you win in rooms they said you didn't belong in, but is it them that said it, or is it you that said it to yourself? Is it you making it up? Is it you assuming that they don't want you there? I mean, they gave you a seat at the table. So maybe it wasn't that they don't want you there. And maybe it's something that we're thinking they're thinking, and they may not have been thinking about it at all. People are so ingrained in their own world and doing their own thing and trying to make the best of their own situation that they are doing the best that they can as well. And that's why when you're in these rooms and you're in a position of power, it comes with great responsibility. Number one, let's get into it. Stop shrinking, people. Stop shrinking. Take up the space. Walk in, right, to the room like you belong. Speak up, sit in the front. Don't go sit in the back. Don't go hiding behind your coworker. Make eye contact with people. Sometimes what I did in the very beginning, any new circle, any new environment, any new meeting, any new thing, any new space where I'm with other people, I usually take a little time. Okay, let me see how this works, right? You don't want to come in there telling people what to do and being all directive and everything like that to everybody. Unless you're the boss and you're running the meeting, then that is a place to do it. But if you're not, what are you going to do? You're going to understand who the players are, understand who the people are, do your homework before you get into the room. That would be great. Like that, you know who they are. Do some coffee chats if you need to do some coffee chats to build those relationships prior to the meeting, right? We all know about the meeting before the meeting. And sometimes we're like, hey, we got to get together to figure out what we're going to do. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But what you want to do is once you're in it, you got to own it. You have to own your space, own who you are, own what you're doing. And I know that in the beginning, when you get into a leadership position or you get into a higher level role or you start a new job, even, it doesn't even matter where you are. You're always thinking like, what do I know? I don't know anything. I'm just learning. I'm figuring things out. Everybody is, okay? Everybody is. And in today's world, the business world is changing so quickly. Things move, things change, technology advances, right? We have so many different laws that change, different things that happen. The culture changes, the environment changes, social changes. All these things come into play sometimes in the business world. Sometimes they don't, but sometimes they do. And when they don't, leave them out. What do we need to bring in more drama for? We don't need that, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to sit at the table, understand your role, and begin to contribute, add value, right? Add value where you can. You're going to start talking. You're going to start including yourself. Something I did that at the very beginning was I was invited into some rooms and I would just sit there and I would be quiet because I thought I didn't have anything to contribute. But in the end, I did. I did. I just wasn't saying it or vocalizing it or even doing the homework before you get into the room. So what you need to do now is do your homework before you get into the room. Figure out what it is that you should bring. What is it that would be important for you to do? And then go ahead and make recommendations, right? You don't want to come in there over speaking and over talking. That gets on people's nerves too. Give people space. Like if you've already talked one or two, three times, let other people come in and give their 2 cents because you're not the only person in the meeting. There are other people in the meeting and not everything deserves a response. Be intentional about when you speak and when you take up space, right? And it's okay to take up space. Like sometimes I go in, I make sure I take up my space, I sit down, I bring my notebook, I bring my phones, I bring whatever I need to bring, and I own my seat at the table. There's no reason why you can't do that. There's no reason why you need to come in, with your head down or come in with your shoulders all shrunken. No. We are here to take up space. We are here to contribute. Be cognizant of what you bring to the table. There is value that you have. There is experience that you've been through. There is knowledge that you know. There are people that you know. So as you go through this, you have value. Own it. Own it, people. Own it. It's time for you to own it. It takes time to figure out what your role is. It takes time to figure out what's expected in these different scenarios. But as you go through it, you figure it out and you're building it and you're building what you're doing and you're building the role and you're bringing in the people you need to bring in and so on and so forth. And then what you're going to do is number two, you're going to make noise where it counts, right? So you're going to put your wins in front of power players, or you're going to bring some suggestions that go to the right place, right? So sometimes you do not go ahead and give everything to everyone. Now, everyone will know what to do with it, and you have to be careful of those people who will only take your ideas and make it seem like it's their own idea. Now, we all know who those people are, and those are not good people, but they're in the workplace. So you need to pay attention. This is how you get to know who they are and you get to understand who people are. So the players is very important to know who is who. There are some people who are there to work with you. There are some people who are there to be for themselves. There are some people, and listen, we all thinking about ourselves. It's not a bad thing to think about yourself. You're going to think about yourself because it has to work for you too. But at the same time, you're not going to be giving your greatest ideas to somebody who's only going to take advantage of it and not put you in the mix or make it seem like you had nothing to do with it. That is not nice. Like, that is not cool. That is so wrong for people to go ahead and do too much. They are doing too much, right? When it comes to that. So you want to make sure if you have wins, if you have done something extraordinary, you want to bring that to the table. Don't do a disservice to yourself, to your team, to the people that work so hard on it by not giving those great projects, those great contributions, any visibility. Go ahead and give it visibility. It is important to feel good. It is important to share your wins. It is important to celebrate your wins. It's okay to do that. It really, really is, especially when you're creating something good for a bunch of people, when you're doing good for many different individuals within an organization, within a group of people. If you make something better or you created something that was innovative and it was something that changed the way you do things or improved the way you do things, there's no reason why you shouldn't bring it to the table. But who you bring it to, where you bring it to, how you bring it to is important, because some of you are doing too much and are out here making yourself look like a a pick me person. And that's not what you're looking for. What you're looking for is honest and true, real contributions that are of service to your teams, to your groups, to the organizations, to yourself, to your teammates, to the employees, to whatever it is that you're doing. And it has to count, right? You don't want to be in undercover excellence. People used to say, "Oh, Miriam, she's our secret weapon." And Miriam is the person who's the brain of the operations. And years ago, people always used to say that she's a jack of all trades and all this stuff. But then when I would go to different places, nobody knew me. Nobody knew who Miriam was. Nobody knew that I was behind a huge project. Nobody knew that I was feeding them the answers. They would hang up the phone with whoever was asking and then come and ask me, then go back on the phone and go give the answers. Then sometimes they would give the answers in the huge meetings, and I would say after the meeting, because I don't play them out in front of their bosses, and say, you kind of gave them the wrong information. We need to go fix that. And then this is how you can fix it. And this is how we can make it happen. And this is how we can kind of course correct that. Right. And what happens is that sometimes you are that person who is the brains of the operations, who is the secret weapon, who says, no, now we have really good luck. People would tell me that, oh my God, Miriam joining my team. Now she's a good luck charm. We have a secret weapon. And you know what? I kind of got tired of that because it was like I was doing all the work, but then when I went, nobody knew what I was doing. Nobody knew what I had worked on. I was seeing everybody else get promoted. I was seeing everybody else, getting good stuff. And I was like, damn, I didn't say anything or they didn't know about me. And the other part too was that I accomplished things sometimes even more than others and did stuff that was either similar, equivalent, or better or whatever. And it wasn't recognized. And I wasn't put into the same category as other people because I never voiced it, because I was never in the room, because I was never invited, because I wasn't visible to anybody else. And so then that's why it's important that when you have the ability to be visible, right, you are visible. And there are ways to do that within your organizations or within your groups so that it doesn't come across as arrogant and it doesn't come across as rude and it doesn't come across as you taking credit from other people. Nobody likes that. Like that's when you took it too far. That's when you did too much. There's a middle space, right? Like one side of the spectrum is not saying anything and being invisible and being in the complete darkness. Then in the middle space is where you want to be, where, you have enough time to do what you have to do and you have enough space to not be so visible and so neat, where everybody needs you. I need you, I need you, I need you. But you're in a place where you can get your work done and you can do things. And then the other spaces where you're just like, it was me, I did this and this and that, and I that kind of stuff turns people off, right? This person, you just came to show off, or you just wanted to be the leader because you wanted to promote yourself and you wanted to do this and you wanted to do that. And listen, I'm all for us helping each other. I'm all for us talking about our stuff. I'm all for us serving our clients. I'm all for us sharing our wins. I'm all for us celebrating our wins. And there's a way to do it, and there's a way that will not turn people off, and there's a way for you to celebrate. Because it just makes so much sense to be able to celebrate your wins. So many of us are doing great things and we're not celebrating what we're doing. And organizations most of these days have a way to celebrate you. Use those avenues of shout outs, right? And then sometimes what happens is that if you're the person who's doing great work, your bosses, supervisors, and sometimes, unfortunately, the truth is that your supervisors or your direct people that you report to in your groups are not going to be the ones who like to do it, or it may even feel like a conflict of interest for them to do it for you, or they don't want to make it seem like it's favoritism for you, right? Because there's so many different perceptions. And like I said, everything is a degree to something. And so what happens is that sometimes they just don't know how to do it and they don't know what to do. And it's okay. But at the same time, you have to be able to do it. You want to be able to, I take advantage every single time that I can, especially when the person has earned it, especially when the person has done something magnificent, especially when it has made my life easier. It's made other people's lives easier. When it's made their life easier, when they've really made a great accomplishment. It is so important. It is so important to give them credit, to celebrate them in a way that we can, so that we can demonstrate the good. Because a lot of times people just want to, they just want to see the negative and they just want to focus on that. Whatever you focus on, you're going to see more of it. But if you focus on the good and you focus on them being better, the person is going to feel more inclined is to work to do more, to be able to do things that they haven't normally done, because they'll be okay, like even trying new things, even if it fails. And I don't really see it as a failure. I really see it as a learning opportunity. Okay, so wait, maybe we could fix this. Maybe we could go back and do it this way. Or there's no reason why things should be punitive, right? I believe in being corrective and how we get there, but some other people don't. So it's really important to see where you are. And sometimes, you know what? You have to do it through other people and get the other people to recognize you and to say, you got to build your case, and you have to see who it is and where it is that you can do it so that it does happen. And for me, especially for me, I always think about those people that work on with me on projects, because we do a lot of great work and we work hard. And anything that we've ever done takes a lot of time and takes a lot of influence and takes a lot of really critical thinking, and it takes a lot of trial and error to make sure that we get it right. And we need to make sure that we're checking all our, like, checking everything. Like, we make sure that we're checking all the different scenarios, all the different ways that this can be positive or negative, making sure that we've hit everything. And there are different scenarios, especially when you're working with people, but there's always so many different ways that you can figure that out. You want to go to power players is because they don't see it. If people don't see you and they don't see what you're doing and they don't know about your contributions, it's going to be very hard for them to pay you the money and promote you. And now, just because they promote you doesn't mean that, okay, now I can, stop working. No, now you continue to work, and now you continue to learn, and now you figure out what the heck is good, or how do you do it in the other place, right? But the important piece is that you do make noise where it counts, because otherwise it will just go silently. Things will happen silently. Things will be working flawlessly, and people, because if there's no noise around it, right, it's like that saying, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. I always think about that. Or closed mouths don't get fed. If you're never saying anything, you don't tell people you're hungry, they're not going to feed you. You're not going to eat if you don't open your mouth to eat. These are kinds of things you should think about in order for you to figure out how it is that you can get recognized, and where and who and what. And some people don't want to make you look good. Some people don't want to show what you can do. Some people don't want to because they see you as competition. And that's also happened to me, where people say, no, I want to get there first. So hold your horses, or sit over here, or sit over there. And guess what? I don't really care. That doesn't bother me, not one bit, because when one door closes, another one opens, because there will be a door that will open for me one way or another. One way or another. There is not a person that can really stop anybody from doing anything. You really need to figure out, if this isn't working, then where is it that I can make it work? Because there are opportunities everywhere. I'm telling you, there are opportunities everywhere. We're looking in the same spaces that do not work, and we need to really go ahead and take a look at the spaces where there are opportunities. And sometimes this reminds me of the day I went to the bank and I came out. These days, you don't do anything in the bank. At least I don't. I don't go to the bank anymore. So I always just do everything online banking. But this one time, I actually had a check that I needed to cash. Now, what the hell was I going to cash this check? Have no idea, right? So this bank, because I have a Federal Credit Union bank, it's not a major bank where you can go and get this done. You just go into the city, or you go into your main avenue and you find the bank there. No, this one isn't like that, because I've had it forever. And I was thinking, okay, let me go figure out if I can cash this check. Go into the bank, come out, and there was a Nissan Rogue, right? So my wife drives a Nissan Rogue. Sometimes I drive it. And so this time I had her car, and I go to the Nissan Rogue, and guess what? Open the door. Door was open. I get in the car and I'm like, why is this like seat like this? And why is this like that? And I noticed it was somebody else's freaking car. Holy smoke. I was in the wrong car. So even though it looks the same, even though it was a Nissan Rogue just like mine, I opened the door and got in, but that wasn't my car. That wasn't the thing for me. So I needed to get the hell out of there, go and find mine, which was like two spaces down to the left, and get in that car. I went to the other bank because this one didn't cash the check. I went to the other bank. Don't you know I did the same thing? I came out of the freaking bank this time with the where I cashed the check and everything was going to be deposited into my account. Go to the bank, come out. Here I am in the parking lot. I did it again the same day, like the same day. I went into the car, open the door, and it's not my freaking car. And I'm like, why are these car doors open anyways? Like, what the hell? I've never been to so many, I never do that. It's not my, it's a car I don't drive all the time. So, I mean, my car is a Nissan Sentra. Nobody drives that thing. So, and it's a white car. People don't like white cars either. So it's fine. But this time I had the black Nissan Rogue, which is a pretty popular car, obviously. So I did it again and it was so funny. I was dying laughing because I was like, oh my God, like this is just so true in how we live our lives sometimes, where we're going through these doors thinking that we know what we're going into, we know what we're getting into, and it looks good and it looks like it's familiar to us. And then you get in and you're like, holy shit, this is not the where I want to be. This is not my thing. This is not my car. This is not my space. So you need to go ahead and get the hell out of there. And sometimes that's the case. Sometimes that is the case, right? But like my wife's car, it's our car. It's not my car, but it's our car. I can get in, I can drive the car, and I give it right back. Right? So I borrow the space and that happens too to us sometimes. Sometimes just temporary, sometimes just for a season, like they say. And that happens too. You know what? Sometimes the doors that open aren't all those doors that we need to go through, and that happens too. That saying no or like walking out or doing those kinds of things, sometimes it does make sense. And I don't blame anybody who does that because sometimes it's not worth it. Sometimes it's not. And that's what brings me to number 3. Protect your peace like it's currency. Every no is a yes to your bigger mission. Guard your time, your energy, and your mental real estate like a boss. Because that's what you are. You are a boss. There's no reason why you should do stuff that doesn't feel right, that isn't in alignment with what you're working on, with what you think, with, like, why would you want to be someplace where it's always feeling negative, it's feeling toxic, it's feeling, and sometimes it's the way that we look at it. And sometimes it really is the other people. And sometimes you just need to wait your turn. And sometimes it's just a matter of figuring things out or letting them figure it out. Sometimes some people, what I find for me personally is that because I've already been doing things for a while, that the advancement of where I'm at, my journey, not that I'm smart or anything like that. What I'm saying is that I'm just farther along in the line of that experience. And other people may not be. And so their experience is in the beginning and very different. So that's why there's a disconnect, because you're working at this level of experience and other people are working at that level of experience. And sometimes that happens. And that happens all the time because we're coming into new units. We're at earlier in the journey. And then you have other people who have been in the journey for decades. And so when they've been there doing it for decades, and then you're the new person coming in, joining the group or joining the work, whatever it is, it feels different. It changes things. Those are the moments when you think about what it is, how you make it work and what you do. But at all costs, you should always protect your peace. So there were times where offers were made and suggestions or recommendations for different roles or different departments. I had to say no, because it wasn't in alignment with where I was going. No, because not that I don't want to do that work, but I didn't feel like I needed to do that work, or It just wasn't in the cards for me. I didn't see the value, so I didn't go. So if it doesn't align with where I'm headed, I say no. I've done it like 3 times already. And some of the ones that I wanted, I didn't get. And so that happens too, right? Where it's not your turn yet. You need to wait your turn, or it wasn't meant for you. But what is meant for you will be meant for you. And protecting your peace is super important, because not everything that comes may come with a big paycheck, may come with a lot of money. But is it worth the headache? Is it worth the time? Sometimes we think, oh, you know what? Well, this, to me, sometimes there comes a point where it doesn't matter how much money you're going to make anymore. You can make it work. And then it comes to a point where there are certain things that you're just not willing to do anymore. Like spending 24 hours a day, working 20 hours a day. Like there comes a point where you do your time and you do your work well, and you do the best. I mean, I do everything that I possibly can, but nowadays we have other time. There's no reason why people are working beyond their hours of work. Not in this day and age. No, that is not healthy. That is not the only thing you can spend your time on. There are other things you can spend your time on. There are people that you can spend your time on. There are other missions, visions, your own stuff that you can pay attention to that are important to you. It doesn't have to always be about that job, about that title, about that role. There are other things in life that are important. There are. And find them. Find those people. Sometimes people want to have a partner, and because they're working so much, they never find them. They don't go anywhere. So they go home, sleep or work from home, sleep, get up early, work, and do the whole thing again. So when do they have or make time for love? They don't, right? That's not cool. Make time for love, people. Make time for love. That ambition, feed it. Give it what you want. If you're working hard, you can. And guess what? You can find a partner that will help you, that will support you, that will be your rock, that you can have confidential conversations with, that will say, that can be honest, that can talk to you, that'll say, I think and they tell you the truth. And listen, if you really trust them and they're supportive and this and that, like the whole difference is having somebody that supports you. But go ahead and do that. And some of us, our health is important. Some people are working their ass off so much that they're not eating, they're not taking care of themselves, they're not going to relax. Their brain is on 24/7. Their phones are going off 24/7 because they have no boundaries. And there are some places that are 24-hour operations. I get that. And there are people, though, that we put in place to handle those situations. Trust them. Let them do their jobs. Let them do their things. And whenever shit hits the fan and they really need you to know, that's when you answer the phone call. You should know that when that phone rings at 1 a.m. in the morning, it's because something really did happen and something that you need to get your ass in, not for regular day-to-day stuff. Like, let them do their jobs. Let them trust these people. Those people are in those jobs for a reason. They are in those jobs for a reason. There is 24-hour coverage for a reason. Let them do their work. And if you're the person who isn't doing that, support them. But give yourself the space and the time to shut it off. Because you need to shut it off in order to be that person, to have the brain power the next day, to be strategic and to do the things that they need you to do so that you could do your part. That's important. That's important. There's a role we all play, and there's a role that's the role that you should play. Stop trying to play in other people's courts. Like, that makes no sense, right? If I'm part of Team A and Team B is going, unless they call me to come play with Team B, I don't get into their business. I don't mess with them. But if it's A against B, we're gonna figure it out, right? And if B needs some of our players, we can help you with that. We figure that out, right? But don't go into everybody's courts and doing things that you shouldn't be doing. Give them the space, give them their time, know your boundaries, and protect your peace. Protect your peace, people. It's super important. There are other things in life other than just working your ass off all day, every day. And that's why when you are helping each other out and playing your position and filling the gaps when you need it, or being strategic and thinking big and giving them the resources, the tools, the budget, everything like that, then that's when you know that you have a great team, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to build your bench. You're going to build your crew. You're going to have your allies. You're going to have your sponsors. You're going to have people who will mention your name when you're not there. People who are going to say, this is the person that is the person for this. And you're going to have more than one of those, right? These power moves don't happen on their own. You always have to work with other people. So those meetings, before those meetings, those are power plays. Those power plays, sometimes you do need to have them, because you do need to come as a team to either go with an idea or go against an idea. Because we know not all ideas are good, and not all projects are going to be worth it. And not every 10,000 things that they ask us to do is relevant. So we need to come prepared with our expertise, and the numbers help. The numbers are where you get momentum. And momentum is super important. And sometimes getting other people to tell your ideas or to give suggestions and recommendations is what the team needs, is for the bigger picture, is to keep going, is to make it happen, is to get the budget, is to make things work, is for the better good. And these are all the things that you cannot do by yourself. You can't do everything. You can't be everywhere at all times. But in a way you can, because if these people are there talking your name and saying you, or I know where I can give this, I know what I can do here, I know who can execute. And it's not about you being the go-to for everything. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is you're working on a similar mission, you all working together for the same goals, right? Everybody. The more people that's on an idea, the more people that are involved, the more you'll get, and the easier it'll be to get it done. The easier it'll be to execute. You need to roll deep, seriously. Like, you see everybody that is a major, there might be one person that's the face or the celebrity or whatever, but they roll deep, they have a crew. Everybody has a role. Everybody. And sometimes you do need, your muscle person. You do need somebody who isn't the power player. Sometimes you do need that. Sometimes you need to say, you need to have those hard conversations with other people. Sometimes that does need to happen. Sometimes you do need to call other people to talk things through. Sometimes you don't, but it's always important to go ahead and have these people. The allies, they're super important. Sponsors, I cannot tell you how amazing it was to have my executive sponsor. That executive sponsor changed my life. So I've never really had one. I had a sponsor, but they weren't at that level. And this one changed my life completely. It was, and it still has been. And there is such a domino effect from it, that it has touched so many lives, because it wasn't just done for me. It was done for a bunch of people too. A whole bunch of other ones. This person was not just an executive sponsor to me. This is the way that this person rolled. This is the way that this person did it all the time, every time. And I love that part, because I'm doing the same. I love it. It is such a pleasure. It is such an amazing feeling to be able to give back. And when you're one of these people who does it, trust me, people will work with you, and people will see the value in being part of the team. And that's super critical in today's space, because where so many people are promoting division, don't listen to that. Don't listen to that divide and conquer bullshit. Let that shit go. Let it go. Figure out a way that you could work together. Figure out a way so that you can make things happen. Sometimes it's not about, walking the hell away. Sometimes it's just about putting your guard down and working with the person. Put that ego in the backpack and say, bitch, stay right here because I need to go take care of business. And that's what you do. You put the sword down. You know how many people are going to court in the workplace? Like, what are you doing? Stop going to court. Work with these people. It's not me against you. Figure out how we're going to make things happen. Don't do that. They are slaying dragons. They don't even need to be slain. People don't need, like, come on. Work as a team. Figure out a way. What is their communication? What do they need to hear? But be real about it. Be authentic. Don't be somebody who just tells them what don't be like that player boyfriend who plays nice and then they play you. Don't do that. Be nice. Work with the person. Go ahead and speak to them and really come to an agreement. And sometimes the agreement is not to agree. That's okay too. Sometimes sometimes it is. Sometimes we don't like what we hear, but that's the way it goes. That's fine too. It happens. Life isn't fair. We know that. So you move on. And everything that you've been through, all the stuff that has brought you to this place, own it. It's your brand. Like, live it. Live it. Number 5 is to turn your scars into the credibility. That's your credibility. Own it. Use it. Take advantage of it. Show people that your pearls of wisdom came from these different experiences. There's so many things that I've been through that other people haven't. They wonder why I'm so resilient, or they wonder why I'm cool in the drama. They wonder why shit doesn't faze me. They wonder why I'm not easily intimidated. They wonder why, I don't make things a big deal. They wonder why I'm cool and collected. Because I've been through enough. I don't need to be drama queen. I don't need to get all the attention to get things going. I'm not scared. Like, I'm not scared anymore. I was in the past. I lived through that. And I've been through other things and horrible situations that were way worse than dealing with maybe somebody who disagrees about one thing. Maybe somebody who doesn't see the value in the work that I bring. Maybe somebody who doesn't think that the business or work that I'm involved in matters. Yeah, well, whatever. That's your opinion. That's what you think. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to keep doing my job. There's a reason why we're here. There's a reason why we're doing things. There's a reason for everything. You go and you do yours, and I will continue to do mine. And we will meet when we need to meet. And sometimes if we don't, we don't. And you make it work. You make it work. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, because these are all so important in owning your space and being a person that is in your own, and understanding that you don't need to be validated by other people. It feels nice, but don't wait for that, because not everybody is going to see the value that you bring. They're so entrenched in their own stuff or trying to reach their own mountains that they can't see you. That happens. And once you're there and you have a space for yourself, own that shit. Like, own it. Work through your stuff. Work through your work. Be there for your people. Lead your people. Stand up for them too. Say what needs to say what needs to, be professional, of course, all the times. And so we want to make sure that, to sum it up, you're not shrinking. You're taking up space. You're making noise where it counts. You're protecting your peace, right? You roll deep. Don't be the lonely wolf, and turn your scars into credibility. That's today's episode. If today's episode fired you up, don't stop here. Head over to miriamsimon.online. Grab your Tattoos and Pearls book. Grab your Tattoos and Pearls bonuses. We have 3 bonuses that I have specifically done for you all. One is the companion workbook. Work through the book, work through each chapter. Use the Ink and Pearls framework and strategy in your own life, in your own experiences, and own it. And We want to help you lead louder, stand taller, own the rooms that you walk in. And we're not here like that imposter syndrome. Get that freaking words out of your vocabulary. Don't even look at that. You are you. And yeah, you are going to feel uncomfortable because being in a level higher than you were before is an unknown territory. And so it is going to feel a little bit like unsteady in the beginning. But then as you walk through it every single day, you come in with your head up high, you come and you walk up and you sit up straight, you come prepared, you own it, you move forward and you keep going. You make a mistake, you're accountable, you take a look at what's best, you figure out what you can do better next time, you call people so you can figure out what's the best option, and you work your magic. If you're loving the show, leave a review, share it with another powerhouse ready to make their mark. Until next time, keep shining, keep rising, keep leading with your own. Own it, people. Thank you so much for joining. Happy to be here with you all and talk to you soon. Take care.